Hello, everybody. Welcome to Joey on Wheels. I am Joey and I am on wheels. So, it's the start of a new vlog. It's Monday, July 20th. I'm pretty sure on that date because I just posted a blog post and I record like the date when I do that. So, yeah. So, because it's Monday, I have just finished recording an AuthorTube video. I have uploaded and captioned and all of that jazz. And now I'm basically going into my week. I have a day off on Wednesday just because that's how things work. I have therapy tomorrow. And a few other bits and pieces to get done. Carrying on from last week, I do still have to do the disability life admin of filling in the forms to prove to the government that I am still disabled and yeah, all the rest. We started it yesterday, but we pretty much got as far as like listing all my meds and what they do, etc., as well as all my medical people. So that was exhausting, and that was like page 2. So it's going to take a while, but we don't really have a while because it has to be back to them by a certain date. And because it arrived while Kara was out of the country, we're kind of like running out of time already. I've kind of like set up a deadline for us for a certain day at the end of July so that if we're not done by then, we have a few buffer days if need be. So Kara is working earlies this week, which means she'll be home earlier, which is, always awesome. And I am literally just done with work downstairs. I do just have to go upstairs and get back into bed and all the rest of it. My lap is filled with the way I move things from upstairs to downstairs these days. In like the winter, I usually wear a hoodie, and the hoodie has a nice deep pocket, so the majority of the things I'm bringing down go into that pocket. During the spring/summer, I have to find a way to balance it on my lap. I used to sort of use my wheelchair bag on the back of my chair, but because I can't easily access that now, it's kind of become, well, everything's going in my lap, and we're just gonna hope and pray that it's all there when I get back upstairs. So, yeah, I don't really know what this week is going to hold. I know that pain-wise, things are still not good. They have sort of moved slightly away from the line of go to the hospital, but only slightly. So it's going to be a lot of sort of like seeing what works, what doesn't, and any changes really I can make. I might attempt to make a doctor's appointment later in the week if need be, but I pretty much know what the doctor's going to say is that because I'm complex and because of what's causing the pain, I need to go to the hospital because all the GP can do is prescribe me meds, which they already have. So if I'm needing more than those meds, I need to be in hospital. So yeah, I know that like when it comes to like pain meds, I know that, oh, here's a link. I know that I'm very lucky in the fact that I have somewhat decent pain meds, but I also know that Mink, she does this every time I record on a Monday, I think. She just, I know why. I know why. It's because she knows that I'm about to get into the magic box. And she thinks, even though Torty is nowhere near here, she thinks if she doesn't claim my lap the instant I look ready to go in the magic box, she will not get to ride in the magic box. And she's also decided that my iPad needs to smell of her. I don't know why. She's a bit of a strange cat, but yeah. Hello kitten. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know really whether we will end up going to the ED or urgent care between now and then because I don't really know what they can do other than like, check to see if things have gotten worse, which in some ways it feels like they have, and then deal with that. But I don't know if that's even possible. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna please the mink and go up in the magic box, and I will catch up with you later. And to just give you a view of how happy Mink is when she rides in the magic box. Yes, it's the best thing in the world. Yes. She's very, very happy about this. Yes. Yeah, she's purring very loudly, and chin scratches are always fun, but they're extra fun in the magic box. Yeah. very happy kitty because she got to ride in the magic box. Yeah. Anyway, hello, it is July 22nd. I'm pretty sure on that date because it's Wednesday and yesterday I got paid and I always get paid on the 21st. So, yeah, pretty sure on that date. I owe you loads of updates. So, it's Wednesday. I have taken today off because yesterday was a whole lot. So, I had therapy, normal kind of thing. And it wasn't just that it wasn't a bad session, it was just a good session and it wiped me out. I did revisions yesterday and I kept meaning to like update you all, but no, it just didn't happen. And then yesterday afternoon slash evening, B and I went through some more of the questions to prove that I am still disabled and still need a wheelchair and still need care, etc., etc. And it just wipes you out. I talked about this with my therapist. I was kind of like, it gets to a point where you have to revisit a lot of like medical trauma and you have to keep revisiting it because you have to keep showing, yes, these things are still happening, these conditions are still there, the after effects or the impact of them is still there. Usually it's worse, and it's a lot. And because like I don't have an official like diagnosis for the hand and arm, it's really hard to explain why it's there and also why it's disabling me even more than everything else did. So a lot of the time we've kind of just been associating it with the sepsis while we're pretty sure it wasn't actually the sepsis that caused it. It just happened to happen at the same time. I don't have any other answers. I don't have anything else that I can point at and say, yes, this is definitely what caused all of these issues. So yeah, I don't know. It's something I'm sure that if I do have to have like an assessment either over the phone or whatnot, then it's going to be something brought up then, and it's just going to be, do we really have to revisit this now? Because like talking to Pippa, I was able to sort of like open up about both the abandonment of the doctors who saw me at that time and also the fact that there was never any follow up. I literally had to go to my GP just like either on New Year's Eve or the day before and be like, hey, this is a problem. No one knows why it happened and it sucks. And can we maybe do something about it? So that's what got me the referral to vascular, who, were very lovely and basically told me this is why you have this issue, but there's nothing they can do. There's nothing in their wheelhouse or their purview that they can do. They can sort of like insist on my GP referring me again to neurology because the FND was kind of like ignored completely, which was another thing I talked to Pippa about yesterday. It's whether my GP will refer me to neurology, hopefully with a different doctor, and also to somebody to deal with the spinal issues, because that's basically what caused it. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I am right now. I'm chasing up a lot of referrals and waiting lists. Like I am on the waiting list for physio, for FND and my hand, but I don't know how long that waiting list is. And it's one of those things that when you become chronically ill or disabled, you kind of have to adapt into being a professional patient, because if you don't fight your corner, if you don't keep track of this, that, and the other, no one else is going to do it. While yes, I am very lucky that B has and will in the future do that, and I'm very lucky that my mum has and did do that a lot when I was a kid and still does it now. It's exhausting. It's exhausting having to go into doctor's appointments and be like, hey, this is an issue and I need your help to fix it. And then to be told, it's not really my problem, so maybe live with it. Especially if you are a woman, especially if you are a plus size big girl fat. Uh, yeah, that, and especially also if you have a diagnosis of anxiety, because they will blame it on all of those things rather than actually do any bloody tests. So yeah, that's where I've been. I plan to go to work tomorrow. It's a Thursday, so it'll be downstairs work, which shouldn't be too bad. I'm aware that a lot of the time the camera is very low down. It's because I do not have the arm strength to hold it up for very long, and I only have one arm slash hand that can hold it, which kind of means I can't like switch them when they get tired. So I apologize for that, but there really is literally nothing else I can do. So yeah, I am just looking at this happy thing, and I will show you. That is a tortellini, very happily flopped out in the sunbeams, and Mummy talking about her. Can you stop talking about me, Mummy? I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, so she's adorable. Ignore the exceptionally dirty rug, I promise. We had that rug since I moved into my first flat, which was in 2003. So yeah, just to give you an idea. And most of that mess is cat fur, basically. B will kill me for showing you our rug and not letting her clean it first. So no one tell her, please. Um, but yeah, I will see you in the next one. Hello, it is July 22nd. I did record a whole clip downstairs so that the camera would stay slightly raised, because I have a lazy mount thing there for my phone. But for some reason, I decided not to check that the mic had battery, and it did not. So yeah, I'm back upstairs. I've posted my AuthorTube video. I did revisions downstairs at the desk today. I've set myself up for somewhat success tomorrow because it's vlog scripts. So I basically put the topics in the file that I need to write them in, basically. I am a little annoyed after yesterday because that fan, it's kind of broken. It is working now. Basically, you know the little plastic thing that they use to secure the blades to the motor? Yeah, it's a screw-on little thing. Even though this fan was not cheap, they basically sent a cheap one, and because it's so cheap, the screw just strips the thing, so you can't screw it in, and if you keep trying, it makes it worse. So yeah, I've got a new one on the way, and I do plan to reach out to the company because I have only had this. I've not even had a month. So yeah, I could send it back for a return, but the issue is I don't have anything of the right size, etc., that I could put it in to send it back. And I don't know what else to do about that. So, and because it wasn't cheap, I really am not happy about that. So I thought I reach out to the company, I'll explain the issue, and hopefully they can send me a non-shit screw-on bit, and that'll solve the issue. But either way, I do have another one on the way because every fan in England right now is out of stock, and so which, you know, I get, because I mean it's the middle of July or it's at the end of July, and it's summer, so that happens. So yeah, but I'm done with work. I do plan to get back into bed in a moment, but I also need to phone my GP because I meant to do it yesterday. I just I don't have the spoons, but I promised my carer that I would at least attempt to phone them. And with things basically getting worse, all I can do is ask them to do referrals, because there's literally nothing else they can do. They can't safely, I would gather, increase my payments. They can't, there aren't guidelines that they can follow that are going to tell them what to do to fix it all, because it's complicated, basically. I'm hoping I can have it as a phone appointment. If not, I will have to do it another way or something or other, because B is working and she's just had a week off for something else, and she's got to take a day off next week because I'm having a procedure done. So yeah, It all just sucks. Hello Mink. Oh, we has a Mink. She is here to rest my arm on, so that you don't get a look at me. You just get a look at her tail. You know I'm not going down in the magic box, right? You'll come upstairs now. Oh, you're okay with that, so long as you can basically sit on my lap. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we love you. We do. We love you. Yeah. But yeah, so I had a 5-minute clip and it was all perfect. No sound. No sound whatsoever. So that sucked. But at least this time you got to see Mink's tail, basically. I mean, there you go. She gave you some love. But yes, I will see you next time. Hello, it is July 24th. It is Friday, and I'm basically just doing vlog scripts, and that is my job for the day, basically. I've done 2.5. I've got to do 4, so yeah. So 3.5? No, it's 4. It's 2.5, yeah. I can't do maths this early in the morning. A couple of clips ago, if not the one yesterday, I mentioned about being a woman and plus size, fat, whatever, and also having anxiety or depression, that you kind of get dismissed by doctors. I wanted to add as well that if you are a person of color, as well as all those things, it sucks. There is more biases there, and I need to acknowledge that I have that privilege of being white. So even though I get kind of ignored sometimes, it would be a lot worse if I was a woman of color, because doctors, they don't always listen to us. So I didn't phone the doctors yesterday, or I did. Hello Mink. Or I did, but in doing so I ended up basically calling a bit too late. There were no appointments, so I tried to schedule an appointment where I would be able to go on the next MePo. They don't have any scheduled appointments there for now, so yeah, that sucks. But what are you gonna do? So I basically have to keep calling for on the day emergency appointments and phone appointments. So I have to call again today, and I have to try and do it pretty much 8 o'clock exactly. Otherwise, they won't be able to give me anything. So yeah, Mink did just jump on my new keyboard, and it seems she fixed something. I got this new keyboard because Mink, really? I got this new keyboard after the sepsis because the weight would help basically with typing, but it's one of those ones that doesn't have a battery that you replace like with Duracell or whatever. It has a battery built in that you can then charge. And when I first got it, charged it, fine, wonderful, worked. And then after a while of usage, it basically, the green eyes turned red, and I was like, okay, need to charge it. And then it did it again more recently, but doing that, it didn't seem to actually charge. And I was like, I could send it back, but I don't want to. Just the effort involved is beyond me. Anyway, so I ended up unplugging it yesterday or last time I was downstairs, for a reason that has since escaped my brain. And it still works not plugged in, so that didn't make sense. Anyway, Mink jumped on it, and now the eyes are green. So basically, it got repaired by a cat, which is funny because it's a cat keyboard. So yeah, thanks, Mink. You fix the issue. I'm not going up in the magic box just yet, but I will make sure you know when I do, so that you can ride along with me. I still have more work to do. I think it's because she knows I'm recording, and she's kind of associated me recording, meaning, oh, you're going to get in the magic box soon. Because I think she missed out yesterday. Can't remember. Yeah, she's sitting here in my next to my wheelchair, just staring up at me longingly. So, yeah. But yeah, so today going to be basically trying to get hold of my GP, see what they can offer. It's mostly going to be like, hey, can we increase the nerve pain meds? And also, can you do these referrals? Because, wow, yeah. I struggle busing, and pain is not good. Yeah. So But hopefully I will finish these vlog scripts very quickly because, well, not very quickly because I've been going for like an hour and a half. I'm only halfway through. So Mika decided to try the other side of the wheelchair to stare longingly at me. Oh, yeah, I know. You want to go for a ride in the magic box. I'm not going in the magic box yet, kitten. I promise you I'm not. Please don't break my keyboard again. I know. No, you're not going up there because then you'd play with my microphone for AutoTube. But anyway, I'm now sharing my wheelchair with the cat. Oh, good, she got down. But anyway, I will see you in the next one. Hello, it is July 25th. Pretty sure on that point, I know that one of the clips this week has been me having to correct myself because it is July 25th. So I thought I would give you a bit of an update after yesterday. I did manage to arrange a phone appointment with my GP. They didn't call until quite late in the day. I think it was after like 5ish. So I was like a bit stressed that they weren't going to call. So yeah. The outcome of that is we have increased my gabapentin just to see if that will do it. But my GP does not feel comfortable referring me to people to deal with my spine issues and neuro because the FND is there and he does not feel like neuro will have anything to add to what the situation now, which I can kind of understand. He basically said that, he wasn't comfortable doing things like suggesting spinal injections to help with the pain and such like that, and steroid injections and nerve blocks and stuff like that, because it was out of his purview. So I was kind of like, well, then refer me. And he didn't feel comfortable with that. The only place, or the only other place he really felt comfortable referring me to is the pain clinic. And having had experiences with them before, which, fair enough, vary from hospital to hospital, but my experience with the pain team at my hospital has been basically they will look at the two big drugs that I'm on and say, well, if they're not helping all the pain, then we can take you off them, which is not the issue at all. I have basically two types of pain now. I have my nerve pain and I have the everything else pain. The everything else pain is mostly under control from the two drugs they'd want to take me off. The nerve pain is it is the big issue right now. I explained to my GP that I don't have a name for or a diagnosis for what is going on with my hand and arm, and he was sympathetic to that, but it was basically like, well, not really my problem. And it's like, no one has taken responsibility for this beyond like a couple of good GPs who have tried to push it down the line, and then when it's not been shown to be the issue of the specialists they've referred me to, I haven't been able to speak to that same GP. So yeah, I can basically do a risk of asking for an appointment with a very specific GP, but it would have to be in person, because I think when you phone up for phone appointments or whatever, it's basically luck of the draw. And I've not had much luck recently. So yeah, it sucks. Like I explained that, things with my hand, my arm, my nerves are getting worse. And yeah, it was devastating to come off that phone call and know that basically from the unsaid words, this is the last increase of gabapentin that I think my GP is willing to do. It's not the max dose, but yeah. I feel like what he's basically saying is, if this level of gabapentin doesn't work, you're on your own. And that sucks. And the sad thing is, I could post about it and I know that there'll be the people sort of going, oh, change GPs, etc. And then there'll be the chronic pain patients and the chronically ill people who know they know, because it's not uncommon and it's something we deal with, especially like I've said on this vlog. If you are a woman, if you are plus size, fat, whatever, if you have diagnoses of like depression and anxiety, and one that I do not experience, if you are also a person of color, this is what happens. You get to a point where, even though I have been so lucky in some ways with doctors that I've had for other reasons, and GPs who have been willing to fight in my corner and have got me on the situation that I'm on now. But now we're facing something new, and I've got all these diagnoses, and I'm a complex patient, and I know that if the pain gets bad and I go to the hospital, there's pretty much nothing they can do. They can maybe give me 1, 2, maybe even 3 doses of a stronger pain med, but that would only be if they had a bed to admit me, and that would only be if they were willing to do anything at all. So that was my evening, and it was not fun. I basically cried. I just lay there and sobbed my heart out, because I'm trying. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. He mentioned physio. I mentioned that, yes, I'm doing it. I'm also on the waiting list for more. I have got a phone assessment thing next Friday from the physio for the FND. I'm just waiting on the physio for the hand to come into. And it's frustrating. It's exhausting. It's feeling like your quality of life basically boils down to whether or not you tick the boxes that whoever it is wants you to tick. And I don't, because I have a multiple chronic illnesses, and I have a thing that happened that nobody is willing to either take responsibility for, or to look deeper, or to do anything with it. Like, it might be that there are things they can do that are not major surgery that can help, and they don't want to, or they won't, or my GP is blocking the way forward. So yeah, it was a heavy day, and it's still going to be a heavy day today, because I'm still kind of like slowly processing it all, and just trying not to lose myself in the pit of, oh my god, why does healthcare work like this? But we have a vet appointment for Violet today. It's a routine somewhat, basically, because she has certain medical conditions. The vets are only legally allowed to prescribe repeats, basically, for a period, and then after that, depending on the health condition, they need to be looked over, blood tests, etc. So we are doing that with her today. I'm just a bit concerned that B might have forgotten to drug her last night, because Violet, she does not do well with people doing things to her. She doesn't get bitey, she gets stressed, and in getting stressed, it becomes dangerous for her health. So we have to drug her. I'm just hoping that B remembered to give the dose last night, because if not, I'm going to have to cancel the appointment. But once that's done, and we brought Violet back, and she's cursed us for the next 6 years, because how dare we, I get to go out and have my hair did. So that'll be a nice bit of self-care, I think, after the week I've had. I'll probably see you tomorrow, maybe take you along for a town trip, but if not, then I'll probably pop on tomorrow to do a little end of vlog thing. But otherwise, I'll see you later. Hi everybody, it is July 26th. I'm pretty sure about that. I literally tried to check the date before I recorded, but my brain is not braining right now, so it's already forgotten. Anyway, whatever date it is, if it's not the 26th, I will put up on when I edit. So yeah, we've got to the end of the vlog. I planned to go out today to take you along into town while we did our usual sort of like Saturday stuff, or Sunday, but yeah, Saturday stuff on a Sunday. But I woke up feeling somewhat okay. When I got up and got ready to shower, I felt terrible. My neck, my arm, my hand, the whole right side just felt absolutely horrible. And it was kind of one of those things where I'm sort of like, is this a sign that I need to go to the hospital, get an MRI kind of thing? I decided not. I decided to have a nap. And that is pretty much the problem with the FND and the sepsis being so closely linked in my mind. I know what the symptoms were that led for the diagnosis of FND, but because the sepsis changed so much of either my normal or just my symptoms completely, it's really hard for me to work out what actually is caused by the FND and what is just, well, sepsis brought friends. So, hang a minute. This is Mr. Dash. He believes that he is never loved. Even if we give him love, he will tell absolutely everybody that we don't love him, to the point that, when my BFF from Finland first came to visit, she believed the propaganda. I would tell her, oh, he thinks he's not loved. And she thought that I was openly saying, yeah, we abuse Dash. Which, okay. So when she came here, she basically zeroed in on him to the point where now he loves her to a degree that when she visits, he just, yeah, when she leaves, he will sulk by sitting on the bedding that she used, and he won't let us put it away. But yeah, he likes love, and he will claim that he never gets any, but I promise you, he does constantly. So yeah, so I kind of am at a stage now where I'm trying to learn what is FND and what is the sepsis and what it caused. They both sort of came together in October. So like I said, I did have symptoms before. That's what led to finally going to see a neurologist and getting scans and stuff like that. I did have symptoms, and those symptoms were things like certain parts of my back pain, leg weakness, brain fog increasing, etc., etc. And it just basically became a case of, well, we think it's this. And then shortly after, my body went, oh, I'm going to kill you, which it failed at. So, yeah. But it's been a bit of a week trying to basically find that balance of working out what is the FND and what is the post-sepsis stuff. Especially because the post-sepsis stuff, while I don't technically have a diagnosis or a name for it, it is all linked to the right side and nerves and stuff like that. So, yeah. In good news, I do have a physio-phone assessment on Friday. I also have a procedure being done on Wednesday that should help with some cath issues and stuff like that. So it's going to be a busy week, and I just thought that I would finish this off. I kept meaning to add something today, but it's now 4 p.m. ish, and I don't want to wake up in the morning and go and record a video and then have to edit this on top, because I don't like that. Yeah. So I'm going to head off. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all of that jazz. And I will see you in the next one.